Welcome to another video, and a controversial video for some, but I don't care about things like that. So as of late, with all the IFRA banning a lot of materials and all that sort of thing, I've been noticing that even some of the old school fragrances that have always smelt decent, they've always reformulated them really well, it's starting to hurt them too when they're starting to now reformulate to like today's juice. So, you know, like if you picked up, say, Hugo Boss #1, they have now got a new bottle out for it. Just as a spoiler, this is what it's not old juice, this one, it never used to have #1 there, but it's a different bottle now. It looks similar to this, a bit less sort of squared, it's squared off, sort of more rounded. You'll see it if you search for it. Things like that. I don't know what the juice is like inside of there, but I'm going to assume, since that they got rid of this style bottle, which has been around for a long time, that indicates to me that maybe they either just wanted to go with a modern bottle, or it's been reformulated, and then for themselves to know what different clone they're putting out, they put it in a new bottle. I don't know. But I've got, well, 11 here really, fragrances that I think are still worth the money, even though, of course, every fragrance from the 70s, 80s, even 90s now, it's definitely been reformulated. So we've got 11, one sort of honourable mention here. All these I still recommend that they're decent fragrances to pick up as a classic scent, but just be aware in the future that maybe some of them may not be worth it. And it's a shame, because all modern, well, I'd say most modern perfume that's coming out of fragrances that I'm trying, even some reformulations of some more modern ones, they're nowhere near as good as they used to be, even really bad in fact. When it comes to the reformulation, the quality isn't there, and maybe it's their fault, maybe it's not. Maybe it's this IFRA thing, and they're forced to use inferior material, you know. But anyway, we're going to go quickly through 10 fragrances that I still think are classic fragrances, that I still think are still good in their current formulation. So, honourable mention, Yopom. Yeah, still got a shadow of itself, but still damn strong, and still smells almost the same as classic Yelp. And it's just memories for me. It's not to everybody's cup of tea, I understand that, but so hence why it's on the honourable mention. But it's my honourable mention, and I wear it occasionally in the cooler weather, generally, because it's a scent memory for me. Now there are some that would be on this list that I just don't currently have. Let's say Acqua di Gio, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male. You get the idea. I don't currently have a bottle of those, so I'm working on that. I'm just not spending loads and loads of money on fragrances at the minute. But yeah, Yopom, honourable mention. Still good today, and you can get it cheap. When there's deals around, you can get a big 200ml bottle for like £28 or something stupid. These generally discounted at about £23–24 for the 125ml. So nice, still nice and cheap. All these are what I class classics, is anything before 2000, the year 2000. So you're going to get a mix of sort of 70s, 80s, 90s. You get the idea. So just picking random, Oscar de la Renta Pour Louis. I still think this is really good juice. Old school way of doing things to smell old schoolish, but doing it with a lot of herbal notes, herbal and green notes, but done to taking herbal and green notes but making a sort of classic clone way. Real nice stuff. Definitely sort of gentleman-like, and definitely still worth the money the reformulation of this particular one is. absolutely great. Really enjoy that. One that really never really changes. Jaipuram is just, oh, it's just lovely. It's like spicy vanilla kind of take. It's an oriental, but it's just say a spicy take on a vanilla. Real good stuff. Lasts and projects well. This is the Eau de Toilette. I've never tried the Eau de Parfum, but the Eau de Toilette's just fine for me, so I don't really. I'm not in any rush to try the Eau de Parfum. This one, away from Bergeron Pour Hommes, but a little bit more going on. You know, it's stronger. It's a bit more complex, but yeah, still nice. So you've got like a slightly powdery vibe to it, a bit spicy. Very nice stuff, and definitely worth it still today. Now, Hugo Boss, like I said, number one. Don't know what the current one actually is like. I'm just going on these. You can still find these around quite easily. This style bottle, which is the one I recommend picking up. Don't know about the new bottle one. I'm going to assume it's just a bottle change, but I don't know. I might pick up one actually and just to see if it's actually worth it. I can tell people. Yeah, I mean, this isn't as it was. I mean, this was quite a urinal puck, heavy, certainly at the beginning, fragrance, like honey and not exactly sweet, but a little bit of sweetness, but not much. Then you got your typical sort of old school style with a lot of woods and vetiver patchouli, all that sort of stuff. But real nice, classy gentleman sort of fragrance, sort of more for the cooler weathers. But this is current with this one in this bottle. This is a more current version I've picked up, but still in the older bottle. This one, they've really toned down that the sort of pissy vibe, or that urinal puck vibe has really been toned down. It's still there, but it's toned down. Everything else seems to be pretty much the same. They've just toned down that one sort of accord that most people don't like these days. They have toned that down. And recent formulation is still pretty good. It's not as quite as strong and beastly as it once was, but it's still pretty good. So it's still worth buying if you can get it in this sort of striped bottle still. Hold off buying this sort of new style bottle unless you see a fragrance review of somebody doing or comparing the two, and just to see if there's any difference. But Boss bottle's still worth it. One that's definitely still worth it is Paco Rabanne by Paco Rabanne. Nice barbershop green. There's probably honey in here. I don't really get like a honey vibe personally. So you get very green, slightly sweet, powdery barbershop style scent. It still smells absolutely amazing to this day. Real good one, and still not expensive either. Cologne, most of you have probably smelt most of these, but I still think they're worth it. Probably maybe the oldest one on the list, that's still in production, Acqua di Parma Colonia. The original Colonia is still fantastic. Oh, so clean and citrusy. There's what florals, musks. Oh, just beautiful stuff. If you like, say, 4711, if you like that type of cologne, but you've never tried this, buy this. It's like a slightly more citrusy version of that, and it actually lasts and projects, certainly on my skin, certainly longer than 4711. This is a good sort of 3 or 4 hours on my skin, and it lasts, and it's pretty strong as well. Just on me maybe, but oh, just a beautiful, fresh, clean scent. It's beautiful stuff. So, the original Acqua di Parma Colonia, still definitely worth every penny, although on the more expensive side. Florist number 89, British brand. This one, beautiful stuff still. Oh, it's like a citrus, again, a citrus, spicy, like a sharp, herbal, a little bit powdery, barbershop again style of fragrance. I'm getting low on this little 50ml now. I'm going to buy a big bottle of this. This is one that I want in my collection all the time. Absolutely lovely stuff, and it's still banger of a fragrance. Still strong. You don't need much of this. In today's formulation, maybe 4 or 5 sprays. Will last you most of the working day, and you're going to smell it. People will smell it. It pushes it. Certainly on me, anyway. So Florist number 89, still very, very good. Ted Lapidus Pour On. It does smell a little bit more synthetic now, only by a bit, and it's not quite as a beast as it was. This still, if you spray this on today, will still last over 12 hours, and it'll stick to clothes for days. So it's still it's not a weak fragrance still. Well, it's never been, but it's not a weak fragrance. Even today's formulation, old school. It's like a powdery mix of everything. Everything's in here. You got a citrusy opening with patchouli, vetiver, woods, say citruses. There's herbal notes in here. There's floral. There's everything. Everything kitchen sink is in here, but blended perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And you can get bottles of these for like between 15 and 20 pounds, depends where you go. 100ml, and just for the bottle alone, really look 80s sort of look to it. Beautiful Art Deco sort of look, beautiful stuff. Just for the bottle, if anything else, still worth it in my opinion. Most things aren't quite what they used to be, but again, this video is for ones that I still think are worth the money. Next, Versace Blue Jeans. Versace Blue Jeans. Good God, I remember this. Still strong, still synthetic, still sweet. Like a synthetic sweet citrus, almost like a Coca-Cola vibe to it, sort of. Like a fresh lavender in there. It's quite a complex for like a cheap scent. But Versace Blue Jeans, still strong, still going. You don't need much of this on. Still almost smells the same. It's always been quite a synthetic smell, not in a bad way, but you can tell there's nothing natural there. It still smells what I remember, just the same. So reformulation has done really well, because I really at the moment can't really tell the difference between this and when I've had it back in the day. Aramis, oh, this may be here. Aramis by Aramis, the original Aramis. Eau de Toilette, it used to be called Cologne, but obviously it's just Eau de Toilette these days. Oh, still beautiful smell, but very, very strong. Oh, even me, I'm a bit of an oversprayer, but 2-3 sprays of this maximum in winter, and I'm good to go all day. Spicy, woody patchouli and vetiver, oak moss, little hint of vanilla. There's all sorts in it. Old school, definitely old school, but doesn't have again that pissy vibe. I don't know many colognes, if you see here, that have that sort of pissy vibe to them. I mean, like I say, I could easily put Kuros in the list, and loads of others, but don't currently have those ones, like I said at the start of the video. So Aramis is still a good cologne. It's still cheap to pick up, and good value for money. I think it's less than £20, less than £25 or something like that for a bottle of Aramis. I think these are 110 mils for about 25, something like that. And that's strong, so you don't need, so you're getting good value for money. So last on the list is my signature scent. It has to be a 1881 white cherry tea. Beautiful stuff. I've got bottles of this. I've gone through, this is probably like 10th bottle I've gone through since I've had this since my mid-teens. Mid-teens, because I'd have had first bottle this maybe 14-15 years of age, something like that, when I first started wearing clowns and stuff. Oh, just fresh, sharp citruses, floral, herbs. Yeah, it's a typical fougere, but done really well. It's one of my most complimented, but then I do wear this cologne probably the most, so there you go, figure. And I've had it the longest as well, so but still relevant use today. If you get a bottle and you spray it and there isn't much there, spray a bit out of the bottle and leave it for a bit, and then it just opens up with the air that gets in. It really opens up, and beautiful stuff, and still, like I say, relatively cheap today. I think you can buy a bottle of this for around between 20 and 25 pounds for 100 mils. I can't remember what I bought the 200 mils, which is my backup one after this one's finished. It wasn't much. I think it was around £30 or something for a 200 ml bottle. So I'll be showing that soon, as this one is nearly empty. But for me, this is the best one still. It still smells fantastic to me. If you like the smell, of course, this one still smells great. So that's it. That's my video for today. I've probably got another video up today as well, and I will try and do a couple this weekend. So that's my video, and let me know in the comments below what you think of the video. I think all these are still good, relevant colognes, and of course, like I said at the start, there's others that could have been on the list, Aquadigio or whatever, right? But I don't currently own, so these are the only ones I currently own in my collection that I still find relevant. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, as always. Thumbs up if you like the video, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already, which would really help me out. And hopefully I'll see you again soon on the next one.